Welcome back to another tabletop review. Today we'll look at the Walther P22Q semi-automatic pistol. It's a good thing that I like 22s. I've got a bunch of them. Today, with the difficulty we're all having even finding ammo, let alone its cost when on occasion we do find some, the advantage of a 22 is obvious if you enjoy range time. The other day I felt like I hit the jackpot when I found this bulk box of Federal 22. 800 rounds for about 87 bucks. Okay, I was paying only 3 cents a round just a year ago, but today I was glad for my find. And it wasn't the only thing I found that day. I also found this Walther P22Q with a pretty good price on it. I like Walther pistols. I think many of the Walther firearms are underrated. For some time now, I've had the Walther P22 on my wish list. But not just any P22. I wanted the two-tone nickel 5-inch barrel target version. Sadly, we're in a difficult time and I haven't had any luck finding one of those at my local gun shops. If I bought one online, I'd have to pay shipping and transfer fees, so I've been waiting. This was not the version I was looking for, but this P22Q came equipped with a laser. Now, I'm also a fan of lasers. I wasn't always, but as I've gotten older, I admit that I could use a little help acquiring and keeping on target, and the laser does provide that advantage. So with a package deal of about $300, I figured it was worth picking this one up. And I'll admit overall, this has been a fun gun to shoot. Let's make sure this gun is cleared first. By the way, if you enjoy this review, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I think it's important to know that the Walther P22 has been produced for almost 20 years, and it's been very popular. There are a lot of these out there. Some of the first P22s had problems with their magazines. Walther addressed these early issues and has continued to improve this gun over the years. The P22Q is basically a 2.0 version of the P22. This newer P22 includes styling closer to the Walther PPQ, hence the Q in P22Q. This version has improved ergonomics, better grips, has a 3-slot Picatinny rail, full capture recoil spring and rod, threaded barrel, and the possibility of adding a 5-inch target barrel, and now, like this one, can be had with a laser from the factory that fits this gun's frame perfectly. Well, let's take a look at what comes in the packaging. This P22Q came in a traditional plastic Walther case. Came with the additional paperwork including a manual. Came with 2 10-round magazines, and it also came with a larger back strap for the grips in case you need it, 2 additional different height front sights, a tool for removing the thread protector, and of course the lock. It also came with a custom laser sighting system from Walther. And of course there's an adjustment tool for the laser. As for background, I'm going to repeat myself a bit here from what I said during my review of the Walther PK380 a few months back. If you watched that video, I apologize and hope you'll bear with me for a few minutes. I've also covered the Walther Arms Company in some depth in my previous videos, so I'll just say that Walther Company is a German weapons manufacturer that has manufactured firearms at its facility in Germany for more than 100 years. Walther is well known as the manufacturer of the famous PPK of 007 spy movie fame. And in 1997, Walther produced the P99, a polymer pistol that actually replaced Bomb's PPK for a time. With excellent ergonomics and well-established reliability and its ambidextrous controls, Walther has succeeded with the P99 to easily surpass the Glock benchmark. But that was not the only influence of the P99. In 2002, the Walther P99 led to the development of the successful Walther P22, a somewhat smaller 22 target pistol fashioned after the P99. However, there were some issues with the first design of the P22, and Walther set about making improvements as the popularity of the P22 increased. Walther continued to give attention to improving the P22 design. The success of their PPQ model, released in 2011, led to fashioning some of the PPQ characteristics into the new P22Q version of the P22. They couldn't have picked a better model. I love my PPQ Navy. It's probably one of my top favorite pistols. The P22Q is still produced in Germany today, and it's distributed by Walther Arms of Fort Smith, Arkansas. By the way, the P22s were made by Umarex in Germany, which does not distract from their quality. To be honest, my first thoughts regarding the design of the Walther P22Q was not the PPQ, but rather the Walther CCP. The Walther P22Q may be a slightly scaled down image of the PPQ, but is very close in size and just about everything else to the Walther CCP. I suspect that the lackluster popularity of the CCP versus the successful popularity of the PPQ may have been the reason for the Q label on the P22Q. Just a thought. As for specifications, it's obviously a .22 caliber pistol. Action is hammer fired, blowback, fixed barrel design. Comes with 2 magazines, 10 rounds. This gun also has a mag disconnect. It can't be fired without the magazine inserted. Sights are 3-dot. Rear sight is adjustable for windage. They're plastic. 2 additional size of front sights are provided if that's necessary. Barrel length is 3.2 inches. It's threaded with a thread protector. A 5-inch target barrel is also available. The slide is Zamex with steel inserts. There is a loaded indicator over here. Overall length is 6.5 inches. Width is 1.1 inches. Height 4.5 inches. The frame is carbon fiber. Grips have an additional back strap if it's needed. The slide release is here. Serrations on the front and the rear of the slide. Mag release is European paddle type. It's ambidextrous. Safety is also ambidextrous. It's a hammer block type, up for fire, and that means it can be dry fired, by the way, and with the safety on. Trigger pull in double action is about 10 pounds. Reset is fairly short and crisp, and single action pull about 4 pounds. Weight unloaded 16 ounces. The laser unit is labeled Walther. Activation switch is here. It fits snugly with the quick release tabs on either side, and it has lights back here toward the shooter to remind you that it's on. My overall range experiences with the Walther P22Q were better than I had expected based upon other internet reviews that suggested that the P22 can be ammo finicky. But shooting the bulk Federal that I had and even some Blazer ammo that I had was flawless with about 200 rounds of Federal and 100 rounds of the Blazer. I also fed 50 CCI mini mags, my favorite rounds, through this gun, and actually had no problems at all. There's a nice texturing on the grips, but I have large hands and long fingers, so this gun's grips seem sort of small for me. Even with the larger backstrap, it felt like my fingers were too long in relation to the trigger. The magazine release works fine, and I've had enough experience with the paddle design that I've learned how to work it well enough that it doesn't bother me. The loading assist knob on the magazine is very good, and the magazines are well made. I like that Walther's includes 2 with the gun. The magazine seats perfectly into the well. Very nice. Racking the slide is easy, nice and smooth. Trigger pull in double action seems slightly lighter than 10 pounds, and in single action it seems heavier than 4 pounds. Take-up seems long in both double action and single action. Reset is nice and sure. The trigger was okay, but to be honest, it didn't quite live up to the usual Walther reputation for triggers for me. Still better than the Walther's worst, however, which is the PPK-22. The sights are okay. They're simple, and the 3-dot presentation allowed for quick target acquisition. Sight picture could be tightened up a bit on the rear sight for my preferences. Shooting the P22Q had hardly any recoil. The safety action is a little stiff, but it's okay. You have to sweep up the safety to fire like on my Walther PPK, which I've carried for years, so it's no problem for me. As for accuracy, I think the gun is quite accurate for what it is. I see this gun as a trainer, not a competition or even a target gun, although you can add the more accurate 5-inch target barrel if that's important to you. The wide sight picture gave me a little trouble, and I admit I had some difficulty staying on target with my follow-up shots. More importantly, this gun isn't really comfortable for me to grip and fire. That didn't really surprise me because I've had the same feeling about other small grip guns like the Beretta Neos. I think if I add some Talon grips it would help. Hoe grips are not available for the P22. A bit later I installed the laser, which I'd already sighted in and returned to the range. The laser is a snug fit, but does fit perfectly, and I like the way that it sort of molds to the gun. The rear-facing lights remind you that it's on, although I found these a little distracting. I like the little takedown tabs which allow for quick and easy removal of the laser. I don't really think the little on and off switch is the best that they could have designed, and it's not ambidextrous. I also would have preferred a green laser over red, but that's not as big an issue as this on and off switch. If you've got a P22Q without the laser, Walther has them for about $100 and Amazon offers the same laser for about $75. The laser worked well. Even though I had removed and reinstalled it, this laser stayed perfectly zeroed in. My accuracy improved quite a bit with the use of the laser, so I think I'll keep it on the gun. After a little practice, I was able to maintain a reasonably tight spread at 15 yards. But there's no doubt I'm better with my larger 22s like the Taurus XT or especially the Beretta M922. Now let's talk about cons. My biggest problem with the P22Q is its scaled down grip size from the PPQ. Even the very similar CCP is about an 1/8 inch more grip, which makes it feel so much better. Of course, that's just me and my large hands. As I said earlier, a set of Talon overlays might help. Since this is basically just a trainer, a plinkster, the magazine disconnect doesn't concern me, but it might some people, as would the manual safety. Some may also object to the European style paddle mag release. Now let's talk about the laser. Sorry, but the down on up off switch is small, it has sharp edges, and isn't natural to activate. Why didn't Walther use a button like most other front mounted lasers are made? And speaking of sharp edges, the flare out point back where the on lights are located might continue the flare on the grips by the trigger guard, but they're sharp and are likely to catch on things. I'll probably use a file to round them out a bit. I didn't shoot this gun with the suppressor installed, but I did remove the thread protector when I did its initial cleaning. The wrench that was provided is just a little too big and doesn't actually fit between the barrel and the frame. I had to use a different wrench in order to get the jobs done. By the way, Walther also has suppressor adapters for sale for about $25. but it would have been convenient if one had come with the gun as it did with my Smith & Wesson M&P 22 Compact. The actual adapter probably costs less than $5 to make, but for only $300 for the gun with the laser included, I guess I shouldn't complain. As for pros, this gun is really well made. Fit and finish are great. Walther has done a respectable job of incorporating good improvements into the P22 over its many years of production. Although I've complained about the grip size of this gun, the P22Q is actually a great gun for introducing a young person to shooting. In fact, it's probably the best I've seen for that purpose. And I've heard that people have actually been specifically recommending this gun as a possible concealed carry trainer for new gun owners. I can see why. This would be an excellent gun for learning how to handle and carry. You can dry fire this gun because of the safety hammer block. It allows the trigger to be pulled without damage to the firing pin. The breakdown of this gun is Glock-like, and I like that this gun comes with 2 magazines. Also, I like that Walther has a 5-inch target barrel available for only $110. And finally, the package deal of the P22Q with its custom fitted laser for about $300 today is just too good to pass up. I've complained about the laser's design, but again, I see this gun as a trainer, not a serious self-defense weapon, so I can easily remove the laser for training purposes. Disassembly of the Walther P22Q is fairly simple. We have these takedown tabs here on either side. We're going to remove the magazine. Bring those tabs down. Bring the slide back, and it comes right off of the frame fairly easily. You get a contained spring and rod, and the barrel is fixed to the frame. Reassembly is fairly simple. We're just going to return the rod to the little hole there under the barrel, and then basically it's just a matter of lining the end of the rod up there with the end of the muzzle of the frame, and then you just bring the slide back all the way and put your tabs back up. That's pretty much it. The original manufacturer's suggested retail price on the P22Q with the laser is $469, but I've seen sales even recently for as low as $310. Without the laser, the suggested retail price is about $409, with actual sales being around $270. And with the 5-inch target barrel, the suggested retail price is $510, but I've seen sales closer to $330. Now, before we end today's video, I'd like to remind you that if you haven't already, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe down below. And thanks for watching. So wrapping up, do I think the Walther P22Q's popularity is justified? Well, with my big hands and long fingers, I'm probably not the best judge of its ergonomics and handling. I know that fit is a factor in how well a person will shoot and how much enjoyment will come with that experience. And for me, I just can't get over these small grips. Okay, I admit that I did enjoy shooting it. I mean, really I did. Certainly the laser helped with my accuracy. But ignoring that issue and with the right ammo, yes, this is really a nice little shooter. By the way, I might get the 5-inch barrel eventually, but I'm glad I got this 3.4-inch version. I sort of like its length, and it's practical. And yes, considering everything, I'd probably buy this gun again. When I'm introducing a novice to shooting, I usually start out with one of my 22s, and I have quite a few to choose from. But this Walther P22Q is now the first gun I'll reach for in that situation. In that regard, I think it's perfect. The Walther P22Q is solidly built, nicely finished. It has a light racking slide and it's easy to maintain. It's suppressor ready and has the option to add that 5-inch target barrel. And like this one, can include a nicely fitted, reliable laser system, all for about $300. In today's gun market, that's pretty good. Any weapon you carry is better than the one you left at home. Thanks for watching. Hope you'll be back for my next tabletop review. Until next time, stay safe.